Hello everyone. I want to play the video of Kaylee's dad from the News Nation segment that's called Idaho Victim's Dad, Why is Evidence Being Destroyed Before the Trial Date? I want to kind of pull cards as he talks, and then we'll go over he's heated. He's hiding it, but he's heated. Anyway, so I'm going to pull cards and then we'll go over what comes out. This is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact.
On tonight, just your reaction to getting this news. Was this a surprise, hearing that there's a date scheduled and it is December 28th?
Yeah, I was surprised that we're at a moment in the case that we don't even have a trial date. We've had a trial date for almost the vast majority of once they had a suspect. So we don't have a trial date, but we have a date to have, largely the biggest piece of evidence being destroyed, which...
This would be about the lack of forward progress. And then here we have him believing that there's going to be a reason that it would be beneficial for the house to still be standing because there's a need to go back and look at something again. It's like, let's dead the issue. Let's not, because we're going to need to go back in there. Is it something specific that he has in mind, or just anything? I'm trying to cover all bases. It's nothing necessarily specific that he believes that the house should be standing for, besides the obvious. It's like, this could happen, 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 and I just want it to still be there. I want to be prepared, is the energy that I'm getting with that.
Just seems backwards,
So I would have expected that something this monumental would have been...
Seems backwards. What he believes is right on the inside is the opposite of what's unfolding on the outside. Yeah, he feels like there's a flow that's being blocked toward getting answers from a higher perspective if needed, if one of these things happens. If one of these things happens, we're going to need a higher perspective, and the higher perspective would be to be in the house. But if the house is not there, it blocks the flow. And then what I believe is right on the inside to get this higher perspective can't happen because there's nowhere to go. There's no flow. This to me looks like a museum, like going and looking back in the house. He strongly feels that there's going to be a need at some point in trial to go back into that house. This isn't just him being dramatic. This is like, I really feel like there's going to be something that's going to be, okay, well, let's go look, or let's go test it out, and then it's not going to be there.
Discussed behind the scenes that your lawyer, Shannon Gray, would have been in conversations at least to give you guys, enough time to process this. And it sounds like that's not the case. You didn't get much time.
Feels like Shannon Gray was kind of shushed here. Knight of Pentacles, he's someone who's trustworthy to them. He did try everything that he could have to get this to not happen. Two of Pentacles in reverse, he just wasn't, whatever he was saying did not take priority over trying to block the truth that they want a new beginning here. They want to not have to deal with going back into the home. There's a wish fulfillment that's being fulfilled by this house coming down. And because somebody else really needs it to come down, it's like no matter what is said from this trustworthy team of lawyers, even if it's logical, it's silence because somebody has already paid for the truth to be what they want it to be, which is the truth that stands right now before it's rebutted is that the right word? Rebutted. Before it's rebutted in trial. So before we have an opportunity to really test what's being said, they want to make sure that it goes with the narrative that's already been painted. So any logic brought from the lawyers into this doesn't really matter. They're just kind of shushed.
Different than the time that we got in terms of this announcement.
No, and I kind of take this as from a perspective of that my opinion is not important as a parent. That's not it. What is important is the lead investigators at the county, state, and federal level, and it is to my knowledge that they are not in all agreement. And we tried to get them to all come in agreement and address, come out with a formal statement. So if they can't all agree, I find it very hard for the parents to all agree,
They're not all in agreement. That would be that. 8 of Cups, the next part of this talks about Ethan's mom being okay with it and him not respecting that she's okay with it. That's this. That's the mother that's allowing this to flow or saying it's okay for this to flow. It feels like that drew a line in the sand between families, is what I'll say there.
We're all trying to get through this the best way we can. I want to be absolutely respectful to every single one of the parents. I understand. I understand that this has to go down, and
we're all in this together. That's just confirming his mindset. We're all in this together. We're all in this storm together. Wanting to be on the same page. Yeah, we're all in this together. We're all feeling depleted. We're all feeling down. We're all feeling weak here. Three of Wands. It feels like Kaylee's family is likely going to pull back from Ethan's family. I don't want to say too much about that, but Three of Wands, it's like, it feels like 3 families are not okay with it, and one, and their dynamic is different because they still have kids there, but it just feels like it's 3 on one side and 1 on the other of this issue.
Now, I'm not going to fight it forever, and I want to be careful what I fight, because there's, this is a losing battle. But,
long.
He doesn't want to go against one another, though. He's not trying to battle the Chapins, because he doesn't want to destroy any bit of healing that has occurred, but he also needs to let it be known that he's not okay with rolling the dice on needing something that cannot be there after it's gone, if that makes sense.
Oh, it's a long battle as well, as we've come to understand. That brings me to the issue of Mrs. Chapin. Ethan Chapin's mom, Stacy, has given that statement to me saying that, we're okay with this at this point. We agree with the university. We think it's in the best interest of the kids who are there, including her 2 kids and the community. She's
saying that because she's trying to give her children a chance to heal, it feels like. Yeah. It feels like her and how she got to being okay with it was her basically pouring the energy into what would Ethan want me to do for his siblings, or like the mindset of, how do I put this? What she felt like was right for the siblings, like doing right by Ethan's memory. There's some reason that either they don't want to leave that school or she doesn't want to pull them out of school, something like that, and trying to alleviate that suffering. Feels like that's where the decision's coming from on her part.
As a whole, what are your thoughts about that?
I totally respect it. I get it. I have leaked footage. I've seen things that they may have not seen. I know for a fact that
it's really bothering him. This makes me think of like someone that's in therapy here, like, and then I'm trying to control myself, but this is really bothering me. To him, I guess you could say it kind of feels like a bit of a betrayal. But again, they're coming from different perspectives about it, because she's looking at her remaining children, whereas it's not the same for him in this scenario. His children aren't at that school, so it's deeply bothering him, but he's trying to keep his cool, is what I'd say.
the path that this white salon, this car took, and people are going to wonder what he was doing when he parks in certain locations for extended amount of time. What was he looking at? I want to know.
Talking about where he was parked and what was he doing in those locations, there's a map here, and the Knight of Swords. Mapping out some kind of plan or coming up with a course of action here is what that looks like in terms of the footage that he's referring to, that he has seen that the other families may not have seen. What is depicted on there is something that looks like he was trying to come up with a plan of attack. Based off of either where he was stopping, how long he was stopping, or maybe some shadows that can be seen. The moon, and they're both holding swords. Using the cover of night to come up with some kind of plan of attack or strategy of attack here is what is seen on the footage that he's referring to.
You know, what he was looking at. And I don't know how you can see what this man was looking at without the house being there. What windows was he peering into? Why did he pick that location to stop at? Why did he keep going back to these certain locations? And I don't know about the other 12 or 13 times that he was there. I just know.
So again, the footage, trying to figure out if there was any part of the plan that wasn't going to work because of being seen, heard, or some kind of interference. Communication, confirm communication. Communication, confirm communication. They're both the same black and white color. This is about some people who are high up in power, getting things to happen through people who are working for them, or like providing the opportunity for them. Confirmation. Once you're in, you can't get out. Once the plan's a go, it's not no stopping it. So the video footage is all about trying to figure out if there was any pitfalls in the plan based off of the view of the home from where the car was. So basically, what can be seen from this angle? Where do I need to avoid from this angle so that the plan doesn't fall apart? Confirmation. That's our Bryant card. So the plan doesn't fall apart.
Of the day that this happened in the footage that was given to me. So I'm going to do what's best for my girl. I'm going to protect her. I'm going to weigh on the side of what's best for her and making sure that I'm not going to let something slip through our hands that I could have.
Not let something slip through our hands. He doesn't want to block the flow to his opportunity to get justice for her. once you can't flow back to the house because the house is no longer there, there's only so much that he can do to get justice, and that's what he's trying to prevent, which I know seems obvious, but hand, and he just said hand. So this, what he's saying isn't, what he's saying is because these are the reasons he's giving is the truth here. He really feels like there's something in that footage that if the house is not there, just doesn't hit the same. Is it possible he was trying to see if someone would be able to see a signal that was given? On the money. Trying to see what the watcher would be seeing. I'd be curious as to if in whatever footage he's referring to, I'd be curious to know if it has a view of Linda Lane, or like, it feels like there was a signal being given to Brian, and Brian had to be sure that he'd be able to see the signal. Confirmation. Portal to hell. What began the negative energy coming into this situation? Somebody working for the other side. Fair to say that that is someone luring one of the victims into some kind of trap. Fake friend. Blocked. The fake friend was supposed to block Ethan and Xana from going back. There's something that's a sign or a symbol in that. Like a green light. Missing piece revealed. Someone was supposed to pervert or like tarnish someone's ability to get home, and there was a signal given after that unfolded to see which way it was going to go. Like, are we going to be able to stop someone from going to the house or not? And then there's a signal given. Fair to say? And I'm trying to figure out if I can see that signal from different parts in the neighborhood. Confirmation. But I didn't think that that would come back as part of this. I thought I'd be able to hide that behind smoke and mirrors, or I thought, it's like Brian thought that he was going to be able to explain all the car sightings in a different way, and that was part of it, but it was also part to get a sign or a symbol to when to go. The green light.
could have said something. But I do understand it has to go.
I have this question for you because up until now I hadn't really contemplated this, but do you think it's at all possible that the prosecution is so confident about their case, they're not worried at all about the House standing?
I've been told that exactly. I've been told 100%. The amount of stuff we have, Steve, relax. You know, you're a very aggressive a father. Relax. But it's not in my, it's not in.
It's not about having enough, it's about protecting someone. This would be the house right here. The house coming down is to protect someone from the situation taking the turn that, from the situation, from a certain avenue of thought coming to life. It's about protecting someone. It's not about having enough, because it doesn't matter what you have, it's not going to compare to the actual house. Yeah. And Steve knows that.
My character to just sit back and just know that an opportunity isn't being seized upon. And I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't live with myself if later on, you know, something happened and a jury member said, you know what, it really came down to the fact that I couldn't see firsthand. They told us.
I gotta try. Sink or swim, I gotta at least try to even if I'm by myself making a stink, I gotta at least try. I can't not try.
The ideal jury member was someone who had thousands of acres and had no time to watch TV. He was out on the farm. Well, I don't feel like that kind of guy is going to see the footage that I seen and not want to understand what was going on in that house. And the computer program is going to mean nothing to that farmer. Almost zero value in a computer model to a farmer like that.
Oh, to a farmer like that. Look at that. There's something pre-unalivings that's on that footage that's important. Almost like if this is you, that has to be you because of what is happening in this clip. Like there's something that connects. I don't know how else to put it. There's something that connects. And once it's released, once the public sees it or knows about it, the mummy returns. Why did I just say that? The mummy returns. It feels like there's something in that footage that could prove that Brian was either getting like a heads up from someone about something or waiting for something on the footage makes it look like Brian did not work alone. But if the house is not there, then the footage could look like something, it could be explained in a different way as something else. Playing chess.
I want to dovetail off something you just said, and that is that they've told you that, Steve, the amount of stuff we have, relax. Are you referring to like victims advocates or people actually in the know of the case, that they have such a solid case that you should rest easy?
Because I've made myself vocal, people have reached out to me, and some of those people have just said that if what I know is accurate, Steve, there's a massive amount of information. This case will open up other investigators to know that there's a whole nother level of data being collected on people and some of that will come out in this case.
Thank you for watching. Go to news.
It keeps going back to me that the house coming down is protecting someone that is one of those unknown male DNA profiles in the house because of who they themselves are connected to. There's something about the footage that Steve saw can look like one thing or can look like something else. But if the house is still standing, they're still able to have the narrative go by the way of it's just Brian, nothing else to see here. Like no deeper issues. Nothing to worry about when it comes to what happened after. There's something about the footage that he saw. There is some benefit in comparing that to the house if the house is still standing, but then there's a risk of somebody that is one of those unknown male DNA profiles being dragged in, and that's not good because whoever they're connected to. That's what I'm getting here. Confirmation. There it is. Tunnel and death. The risk is worth the risk of taking the house down outweighs the risk of what could be found with the house still up. Yeah, and they want to keep that a secret. Please remember, this is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. I'm going to do another check-in for Idaho soon, but this is it for now. Have a good day.